Neelix ambushes him up in the hallway. His Tuvok is let him go along on security grounds. See, Neelix wants to become a member of security and has been studying hard to do it, but Tuvok says nothing's definite. Well, Neelix is clearly flustered that he's used to simply pushing himself into a position and just clinging tight to it until people just give up and let him keep it. But here, Tuvok is resisting, letting him do what he wants. Neelix even yells after him that he'll see him first thing the next day for security rounds. Neelix, you need to learn what other people mean when they say no to you. Meanwhile, we find Borg helping Torres in engineering, serving as the replacement for Hogan, who was eaten, thanks to Neelix. What a perfect reminder as to why Neelix needs to stop trying to do Borg work and just get back to his bedsheet pattern apron in the mess hall. Instead, Neelix comes in and starts trying to help Torres work on the warp core, but really is using it just to get her to try to apprentice him into engineering. Torres politely explains she has no time to answer questions for him given the work she's doing, so he nods, and then tries to ask another engineering question. So, there you have it. In the first 2.5 minutes of the episode, Neelix has twice decided that when people tell him what he doesn't want to hear, they obviously don't really mean that. What's next? Forcing himself on a doctor as a new field medic? Wouldn't that just be awesome? You're out there in the field, lose an eye, there's a confident bumbler runs over there and blinds the other one trying to treat you. Yep, that's your happy thought of the day. The last thing you see before blindness is this dirty fingernail coming at you. Neelix is summoned to the bridge because they've run into a ridiculous errand. After a few fuck-ups, he suggests stopping at the supply station near the Expanse to resupply, but he has an ulterior motive. See, Neelix has finally reached the limit of the area he's been to, and so he wants a map of the Expanse so he can pretend he knows more than that. So they show up at the station and get in touch with the guy who runs it, Morath. Kazakhstan scientists have proven human captain has brain size of a squirrel. So Chakotay and Tom head there looking for supplies and get caught in a conversation with this guy. They ask for spindle bearings for the ship, and after carefully mulling it over, he realizes he doesn't have any, but has something close. Drugs! Basically the same thing, right? Meanwhile, Neelix goes looking for his map, but the map dealer says no one has one, as the area is too unstable. This leads to the introduction of Neelix's friend, partner in crime, and guy designed to be even more annoying than him, Wix. The two talk over drinks, and the gist of it is that Wix wound up going to prison because he refused to rat out Neelix and some shady dealings he'd done. We also see the real reason for all Neelix's behavior this episode. See, he thinks that when he stops being able to serve Janeway as a guy, she'll boot him off the ship. What? You mean just use you until you can no longer serve her and then cast you aside? That's fairly astute there, Neelix. After that, he's in the mess hall, where we see the first real scene with Borg. Borg is Vulcan engineer, played by Jerry Taylor's son, and I'll leave it at that. He previously played a Vulcan, and while he's not as bad as most Enterprise Vulcans, including T'Pol, he's not really any good either. T'Pol, for instance, is played completely bland almost all the time, indicative of the challenge that playing a Vulcan invokes. Emotionless doesn't mean lifeless. Borg is instead played like he just got out of bed in the middle of the night. Always through Borg's work, Wix is brought in, so Neelix also rudely shooes Borg away, telling he can fix the replicator some other time. Yes, if you're looking for an exciting career, consider Star where you can spend long hours in the asshole until he can spend by glorified fry cook who'd rather fuck with your schedule than simply hold his conversation in another room. Okay, so Wix fills Neelix in on what he's got planned. They're going to need one of Voyager's shuttles to pick up medical supplies from a freighter and trade them on the station to help poor sick people with the lung disease. Neelix will get the map, and Wix will get enough money to shoot back to Borat. Also, Borat's 20%. Naturally, Neelix sees no problem with screwing him, and doesn't consider for a moment how it affects Voyager if he uses their shuttles for smuggling. Because we all know that Neelix is a bad Still, I'm surprised he didn't see through this. So they get the medical supplies and go to smuggle them onto the station. Wix then helps himself to a laser, and Neelix briefly protests, but then just accepts that it's just a precaution. Sure, you're smuggling medicine onto the station at night into an unused part of the station for the exchange and are bringing that gun. Absolutely nothing suspicious about that. So they beam over, and it turns out the contact is the dealer from earlier, and he and his cronies plan to just steal the drugs without payment. They get them, but Wix shoots the dealer and they beam out empty-handed. At this point, Neelix is irate at how easily fooled his shit-filled head was by his old friend. He decides he should tell Janeway, but Wix delivers a pretty effective 1-2 punch. First, he points out that this is only going to make it more likely that Neelix will get thrown off Voyager. Second, by reminding him of the time he spent in prison because of Neelix, describing in detail everything short of the anal rape until Neelix changes his mind and says he won't say a word. That's our Neelix, though, as fight with him in tube worm and just as useless. But soon we're in the magic meeting room and Janeway reveals there was a murder, and there's no doubt it was caused by a Federation phaser. Neelix starts to sweat and as Tuvok questions him, practically wearing a sign saying, "I'm guilty," as he stumbles through the answers, but Tuvok's not suspicious of him, but of Wix. Lucky for him, Wix is a much better lie, saying that after Tuvok leaves, Wix informs Neelix things are even worse, that the drugs belong to some organized crime syndicate who are unhappy they didn't get paid, and they'll both be killed unless Neelix can get some of Voyager's warp plasma. Neelix objects to stealing from his friends, but Wix points out that his friends are thinking about throwing him away once he's no longer useful. As sarcastic as I get about Neelix, I must really credit the writers for the story structure. Neelix started with just one mistake that, honestly, I think a lot of people would be tempted to make. Just look the other way for when they owed him something big. But because of that, he's been pulled further and further into this problem. And by sticking with his friend instead of going to his shipmates and coming clean, he suddenly is completely over his head. And the only way out is to stab them in the back. And Phillips plays the part brilliantly this entire episode. God help me. At one point, I damn near came close to feeling sorry for Neelix. That could put a serious crimp in my reputation as a soulless harbinger of darkness. So to sort this out, Neelix goes and checks on Tom, who's busy looking for a container. Seems Janeway wants him and Chakotay to pick up some biomimetic gel. Oh, you might remember, that's the stuff from our look at In the Pale Moonlight, thing that Cisco gave to criminals that they could use to make bioweapons or perform illegal genetic experiments. But I'm sure Janeway has perfectly valid reasons for that stuff, and the ant farm 2-ton sugar cube and that helmet with the funny antenna on top. Anyway, Neelix asks Tom about how he wound up going to prison, and Tom basically says the same thing that's been happening to Neelix. That he made a mistake, but he tried to cover it up rather than owning up to it. Of course, what he didn't include was that when he did tell the truth, it didn't matter, did it? He was still thrown out on his ass. There's your after-school special, kid. Neelix goes to get the plasma, but backs out at the last minute and tells Wix they need to come clean to resolve this. Wix, of course, treats this like a guy for whom life is a daily challenge not to get anally penetrated. And while he's a little weasel, it's kind of understandable why he figures he was just going to get screwed over by any legitimate attempt to fix this. The scene is interrupted as guards show up, yelling, "You two, stop right there," at them. And you know it's time to face the music. But then, to twist the knife, it turns out they were talking to Chakotay and Paris, who've been arrested because they had weapon access and had been earlier seen with the victim. As far as Borat is concerned, this circumstantial evidence makes Tom and Chakotay prime suspects, and they face 50 years of cryostatic suspension. Well, don't worry about it, Voyager crew, because Neelix has a plan. Yes! Just hop in that cryotube now and get it over with. So Neelix and Wix go to confess what happened, and Borat is ready to sentence them to 50 years in the ice bucket. But Neelix says the real issue is the drug dealers who are operating under Borat's nose. He makes a deal that he and Wix go free if they help Borat perform his sting on the real criminals, and Borat agrees since, as he sees it, either he'll get the bad guys, or Neelix and Wix will be killed, and he won't have to deal with them anymore. This Borat is my kind of guy. So the meeting takes place as Neelix hands over a container of plasma he got from Borat, but the bad guys... Of course, Neelix's clever plan now comes in. He's been leaking plasma, and if a weapon is fired, it will explode. That's pretty ridiculous, given what plasma really is. But even if they ignore that, when Borat said no weapons, Neelix apparently decided that a bomb technically doesn't count as a weapon. One of the aliens panics and fires, and we get a repeat of the big green explosion from Macrocosm, which had been the episode right before this one came out. And the episode 2 times in a row with a laugh-inducing explosion. What more can you say about Voyager? So Neelix wakes up in sickbay and finds out Janeway's most displeased with him. She punishes him by making him scrub exhaust manifolds for the next 2 weeks, starting at 4 in the morning. Neelix grins the whole time. If he's lucky, maybe she'll let him work in her sugar mines, too. Post-episode follow-up. Stupid Neelix moment is his complete inability to grasp the word no. You wonder if Kesselman started dating him just to shut him up. Final score for Fair Trade is 7 out of 10. Yes, a good score for a Neelix episode. Ethan Phillips really shows his skill as an actor throughout this episode, and the writers for once have done a good job of portraying him in a way that is actually not painful to watch. For those of you wanting to see the mirror universe, I get the feeling we've just crossed into it.